Alright, thought I'd roll a couple of innings of Payoff Pitch, trying to get ready for the PC release in a couple of weeks. I plan on getting getting it on day one. I'm going to buy probably 2 or 3 seasons to go along with what comes with the game. So I'll be in pretty good shape on opening day, which right now looks like April 7th, to jump on and play some games in different seasons. I will be playing the game on the PC. I don't have any much need for the companion or manual entry or anything like that. I know others will do that, but I'm going to be playing the game on the PC, trying to replicate as best possible how I play the game regular with charts and manual steals with the jump chart and manual sacrifices and all that. So I'll try and mirror as best I can how I normally play the game. And yeah, so I'll be on if it releases April 7th, I'll be on and I'll be playing some games. So I figured I'd just start playing some cards and dice to because I'm a little rusty. I always feel really rusty because I tend to play Payoff Pitch a couple of times and then not play it for a while. And lately I've been learning ballpark baseball, so I've been busy with that, and I've been playing a lot of MLB The Show. So here we go. I got a game here. This is an actual game that was played June 7th, 1985, between the Red Sox and the Orioles. It was Al Nipper against Mike Boddicker. I'm in the fourth inning. Red Sox lead it right now 3-2. Red Sox scored 3 runs in the top of the third. They had one, two, three, four singles, and they scored 3 runs. They had the bases loaded a couple of times, so Boddicker actually got out of some major trouble. It could have been a lot worse. And then in the bottom of the third, down 3-0, Ripken doubled. And then with 2 out, Fred Lynn got a wheelhouse pitch and hit it out for a 2-run homer to get this back to a 1-run game. So it's 3-2 top four. We got Dwight Evans leading off against Boddicker. Evans is 0 for 1. He flied to left in the third inning. He actually started that third inning off flying to left, so with 1 out, the Red Sox then got single from Barrett, single from Hoffman, walk Lyons, Boggs singled in 2, and then Rice singled, and Buckner hit into a fielder's choice, which scored a run to get their 3 runs. So here we go. I got ball roller up, and we will just start the top of the fourth. Here we go. We got a 9, which is patient right-handed, and an 81 is just too much. Look at that. Evans on patient right-handed went up to 80, but 81 will be an out, and it'll just be a fly to center for the first out of the fourth inning. 1 out. Boddicker does have some supplemental strikeout numbers, 50 to 52. I'll try and keep a lookout for those, but unfortunately in Payoff Pitch, looking out for these specific numbers can be a little tricky. Marty Barrett, the supplemental strikeouts are optional anyway, but you try and catch them when you can to give Boddicker a few more strikeouts. Marty Barrett singled. He started that third inning with the single, and then he scored the first Red Sox run, so he'll be up 1 for 1. And we got a 4, which is ballpark. So let's quickly go to the ballpark. As Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. 51 for Barrett, who is right-handed, is going to be a wheelhouse. So we're going to get a wheelhouse. I should have remembered the page. Marty Barrett, right-handed, gets a wheelhouse. So we're going to roll again. And wheelhouse right-handed. And a 7, and that is a home run. Wheelhouse right-handed home run for Marty Barrett. And the Red Sox take a 4-2 lead over the Orioles. Let's see, Barrett against righties did hit 5 homers, so there's one of them. He's 0 against lefties, but 1-17 versus righties, and that 7 is enough for a home run. So it's 4-2 now, 1 out here in the fourth, and that'll bring up Hoffman. Glenn Hoffman up. Boddicker just got back into it and gives up another run. 7 is in play righty. And that is a 69, and that's too much. So 69 is just going to be a grounder to second for the second out. 2 out now, nobody on, although a run is in, and that'll bring up Steve Lyons. Lyons is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Hoffman was 1 for 1 before that ground out. And we got a 6, and that's tough, right-handed. 13 is a strikeout. So Lyons is down, and that is, looks like second strikeout for Boddicker in 4 innings, but he gives up a run, and the Red Sox extend their lead to 4-2 going into the bottom of the 4th. We'll get Al Nipper up, and there he is, and leading off is going to be Gross for the Orioles. And alphabetically here, there he is, Wayne Gross. All right, so we got Nipper against Gross. 4-2 Boston. Gross walked his first time up. And we got a 5, which is patient, right-handed, and a 24 is a walk. So Gross is on. Orioles get their leadoff man on. He is not much of a threat to steal, and I don't use auto steal, I use manual, so he's not going anywhere. And that'll bring up Rich Dower, down 2 runs. He's just swinging. Dower is 0 for 1. He flied to center his first time. Al Nipper 11 is defense, so let me get the defense chart. And we got a 88 on a defense reading. 88 is error left field, so we're going to have to check the left fielder for an error. That is Rice, and Rice is a 1 on error, so let's go to the ballpark. And here we go. Jim Rice is a 1. Let me just I should have double checked, but I wrote 1, so I'm going to go with it. Rice is a 1 on error, so that's going to be 1-67 for an error on Jim Rice. We're going to roll again, and we get a 5, and that is an error. That is an outfield error, and that's a 4. So we got error, 4, outfield, and it's a 1-base error. 1-base error on Jim Rice. So that is an E7, and that's going to move Gross to second. And it's going to be first and second, nobody out for Rick Dempsey, who is right next to Rich Dower, as these PPs are in alphabetical order. Now we got to go back to Al Nipper. Let me actually, while I'm here, let me just double check that Jim Rice stat. Rice in left field, yeah, 1 error. Okay, so that was correct. Get Nipper back, and we got first and second, nobody out. Orioles trying to get back into this game, and Dempsey will just swing, down 2 runs. 7 is patient, right-handed. 49 is a walk. Patient, right-handed walk. Bases loaded for the Orioles. Bases are loaded with nobody out. Patient 49. So that's going to bring us to the top of the order, and Lee Lacy. Lee Lacy's going to come up with a bases loaded, nobody out. The Red Sox are obviously going to play back all the way around for the double play. With a 2-run lead, they'd love to get 2 outs for a run. And Lacy's just going to be swinging here. Bases loaded, nobody out. There's a 4. That's tough right-handed. 97, that's way too big. So that is going to be a fly to left. So fly ball left field. Now that's off a tough. So now let's just double check. Fly ball advancement, I always forget these, so I always got to go back to it. I know you take on an F7, other runners hold. If the pitch result was tough, reduce the run rating by 2 before attempting to advance. And who's on third? What is Gross's run? So he's probably just holding for 1 out, but let me just double check Wayne Gross. His run is 5. Yeah, he's down to a 3. Runners are just going to hold here. Bases loaded, 1 out for Dwyer. No sense trying anything there. So Jim Dwyer. Let me just double check something for on F7 results. Runner on second may attempt to advance. Runner on third scores is deep and wheel is patient. Yeah, okay. On all other pitches, runner on third scores if his run rating is 7 or higher and has a choice to attempt to score if the run is 6 or less. So Gross would be down to a 3, so he's not going anywhere. Bases loaded, 1 out for Jim Dwyer. Infield still back for the double play. And we got a 7, which is patient right-handed. 94, though, is too much. Wow, that was a big chance for the Orioles. But a 94 is a fly to right this time. So now we got a fly to right, but this time it was off patient. So this changes the ball game here. If the pitch result is wheelhouse or patient, the batter hits a deep fly, the runner on third scores. So, and if there's a runner on second and the result is an F9, like it is here, the runner advances to third. So not only does the run score, but the runner on second gets to go to third because it was a patient result. So that's going to be a sac fly for Dwyer. And Gross scores to make it 4-3. Dower is also going to tag up and go to third. So it's going to be first and third, 2 out. Now 4-3, and that'll bring up Ripken. Ripken with a chance still to tie this game up. And there's Cal. So we got set the tone. We got first and third, 2 out, 4-3. So far, Nipper has actually managed to avoid the worst with the bases loaded and nobody out. So let's see what happens here. First and third, 2 out now. And an 8 is tough, right-handed. 75 is too big, and that's just going to be a fly to center. And 3 fly balls with the bases loaded. They only get 1 run out of it, and it's going to back to a 1-run game. It's 4-3, going to the top of the 5th inning. It's going to be Boggs leading it off. And Boggs is next to Barrett. And we got to bring back Boddicker. Nipper is an 8 fatigue, and Boddicker is a 7 fatigue. So, and Boddicker is right here. All right, we got Boddicker and Boggs. Boggs is 2 for 2, 2 singles. He's driven in 2 runs in this game. And we got a 7, which is in play righty, and a 28 is a base hit again for Boggs. He's 3 for 3. Wow. And that is a grounder up the middle into center field. So Boggs is on first with nobody out for Rice. Boggs is not running, so Rice will bat. 1 out, nobody out, runner on first. A lot of offense in this game so far. 8 is tough though, tough right-handed, and a 40 is a base hit. A tough 40, and Rice fights it off and gets himself a base hit. That is a sharp liner to center field. Actually 0-0, it's a bloop in the right field. I look at the wrong number. That's a bloop into right field. And 3 is runner on first gets 1 base. So first and second, nobody out. On a bloop to right field by Jim Rice. First and second, nobody out for Billy Buckner. Buckner swinging. And we got a 10. 10 is patient, right-handed. 51. Oh, that's too much for Buckner. 51 is too much for Buckner, even on patient. So 51 is a ground ball to third base. So hold on, we got to do some things here. On a G5, I re-roll for double play. So we're going to re-roll for double play. And let me just double check with first and second. I know there's an exception with grounders to third. Run on first and second. Potential die ending in 5. No, it ends in 6. So this is not the exception. The 6th exception is for a grounder at short. So we're going to re-roll for the double play. We got Buckner's a 7, Boddicker is an 8, so we're going to use the 7. So we're re-rolling with using 7. And 7, that's a double play. That is equal to or less in the DP rating. That is a double play, and that's going to be traditional because we didn't hit the exception on that. So that's going to be a 5-4-3 double play with the runner going to third on that play. So Boggs goes to third, but Buckner wraps into a double play, and that'll bring up Easler, who will bat with 2 out and a runner on third. And now they're going to need a big clutch hit from him to get the run in. Boddicker will pitch to him. And a 6 is tough right-handed, 90, and that's too much. 90 is just going to be a grounder to second, and that's going to be that. So a promising inning for the Red Sox. Ends with a couple of ground balls, 1 a double play. And we go to the bottom of the 5th inning With the Red Sox leading it 4-3, it's going to be Eddie Murray leading it off for the Orioles against Al Nipper. And there's Eddie Murray. Murray and Nipper. Murray is 1 for 2. He singled and grounded to short. Orioles down by a run. 7 is patient righty. 76 is too much, so that's just going to be an out. That's a fly ball to center field for the first out. 1 out. Nipper getting a lot of fly ball outs. Bring up Fred Lynn. Fred Lynn hit that 2-run home run last time up to make it 3-2 at the time. He also popped to first. Here's a 12. 12 is in play righty, and 36 is a base hit. That is a base hit. That is a grounder up the middle in the center field for a base hit for Freddie Lynn. So he's on first with 1 out. He could run a little bit, but down a run, we're going to let Sheets swing here. And where is Sheets? Larry Sheets, there we go. Larry Sheets is going to be up with the runner on first and 1 out. He is 0 for 2. He struck out and flied to center. 9 is in play, righty. 54, and 54 is just a grounder to third. So here we go again. Got a grounder to third with a runner on first this time only. So it's just going to be a regular double play opportunity. And we're going to roll again for the double play. Like I say, I like to roll again for the DPs. So he is a 9, Nipper is a 7, so we're going to be using 7 for the double play number. And 11. 11 is a slow roller. 11 and 12 is just a slow roller out at first. If you roll 11 and a 12, the only option is to first base. So that's going to be a 5-3. So that was just a little nubber there down the third baseline. He's able to get Sheets at first, but Lynn is able to go to second. So Lynn is on second now with 2 outs. In scoring position for Wayne Gross. So Wayne Gross with a chance to tie this game up with a big hit. Nipper's going to try and get him here. It's 4-3, bottom 5, 2 out, runner on second, and Wayne Gross the batter. 5 is patient, right-handed, 46, and that's a walk. Nipper's wild pitch is 30. Didn't hit that. So first and second 2 out for Rich Dower. Rich Dower has been known to get a clutch hit or 2 in his life. He's 0 for 2 here. He reached on an error and flied to center. First and second 2 out, Nipper to Dower. 35 is an 8 is tough right-handed, and 90 is way too much. 90 is just a grounder to short, and that ends the inning. So the Orioles threaten, don't score. It's going to be 4-3 going to the 6th, and Gedman's going to lead it off against Boddicker. Boddicker is over here. There's Mike Boddicker. And we got, who did I say? Gedman leading it off. And I think he's over here. Where is Gedman? There he is. All right, top of the 6th, 4-3. Gedman is 0 for 2, struck out and fly to right against Boddicker. And we got a 9, patient righty, and a 97 is going to be an out. That's the fly to right, 1 out. That'll bring up Evans. Wrong side. Evans is right next to him, isn't he? Yep, there's Dwight Evans. Evans is 0 for 2, fly to left, fly to center. And we got an 8, which is tough right-handed. 25 is a strikeout. So that's number 3 for Boddicker. 2 out now for Barrett. Marty Barrett, who homered his last time up. He's 2 for 2. He's singled and homered in his 2 ABs. And we got a 7 in play righty. 34 is a base hit. That is a base hit. That is a line drive to center field with 2 out. Barrett is on first, and that'll bring up Hoffman, the shortstop. Glenn Hoffman will be up, 2 out, runner on first. And 6 is tough, right-handed, 78's too much. 78 is just going to be a fly to center, and the Red Sox are out in the 6th We go bottom 6. Dempsey's going to lead it off against Nipper. And we got to find Dempsey right next to Dower. So it's going to be Dempsey and Nipper here. Bottom 6. Orioles still down by a run. Dempsey flied to center and walked into trips. We got an 8. Tough right-handed. 5 is a strikeout. That is Nipper's second strikeout, it looks like. Second strikeout for Nipper. His first one was all the way back in the first inning. So there's 1 out, and we go back to the top with Lee Lacy. Lacy is 1 for 3. He's got a single. Here's a 2, and that's Wheelhouse. Wheelhouse right-handed. 65 is a base hit. So Lacy gets himself a base hit on a Wheelhouse, and that is a soft blooper into left field for Lacy. So he's on with 1 out. He has some speed, but with 1 out, we're going to let Dwyer bat. Did steal 10 bases. Down a run here. Jim Dwyer up. He is 0 for 3, but he did have... Oh, he's 0 for 2 in a sac fly. So he has 3 flyouts, but one of them was a sac fly. So he's 0 for 2 with a ribby. Runner on first out. Runner on first, 1 out. And we got a 7. Patient, right-handed. 61, and 61 is a walk. Just missed something better. Just missed the double. But that makes runners first and second 1 out. And again, the Orioles are threatening to tie this game up. Just double check that. 7, Patient, 61. Yeah, that's a walk. So Ripken is going to be up first and second, 1 out, with a chance to at least tie this ball game up. Cal Ripken, right there. So first and second, 1 out. Nipper to Ripken. 2-1 is a 3 is Patient, righty, but 83 is going to be too much. 83 is a grounded to short. So again, we have first and second, but the exception for a grounded to short, I believe, is a 6 or a 5 with the other exception. Although that exception is weird when you go to third with the shortstop. But neither one of those is the case, as we have an 83. So this is going to be a traditional double play attempt. And we're going to re-roll. Ripken's a 9, Nipper's a 7, so we're going to be using 7. And a 4 is a double play. So that is a traditional 6-4-3. And that gets Nipper out of the inning. So that is a 0 bottom 6. So we go through 6 innings. Red Sox lead it 4-3. And Boddicker. Now, Boddicker, I think, is going to be done through 6 because he's an F7, and we're getting into the 7th inning. He's given up 4 runs. So Boddicker is going to be done after 6. Top of the order. We got a nice mix of lefty-righty, so let me see who I want to bring in here for the Orioles. Hold on a second. Got to find my Oriole pitcher. Who am I going to bring in to this one? Maybe Don Ace. He had a pretty good year. Yeah, let's go with Ace for Baltimore. Right-hander. He's going to come in. He's a short fatigue. And his hold is a 4. Just a couple of things I like to write down before I play. And his DP is 9. So he's a 4 hold. And Ace is going to come in for Boddicker here in the 7th inning. Try and hold this game at 4-3. He's going to face Lyons leading it off. Steve Lyons, the lefty, facing Ace, the righty. Top 7, Lyons is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Ace has no wild pitch and no supplemental strikeout numbers. 5 is tough right-handed, 70, too much, so that's just going to be a grounder to short for the first out. Bring up Boggs. And we got a 6, tough right-handed. and that's a 47. That's too much. 47 is a grounder right back to the pitcher. 2 out. That'll bring up Jim Rice. 2 out, nobody on for Jim Rice, who is 2 for 3 in the game. And he drove in. Did he drive in a run? No, he did not drive in a run. He's 2 for 3. Hit into a double play his first AB. 7 is tough right-handed. 99, that's obviously too much. That's a fly to left and an easy inning for Ase in relief. We're going to go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Murray will lead it off against Nipper. Nipper is an F8, so he will start the 7th. He's given up 3 runs. We'll let Nipper start the bottom of the 7th against Eddie Murray. Murray is 1 for 3 in the game. Orioles trail it by a run. It's Red Sox 4, Orioles 3. It's been a good game. And 5 is patient righty. 86 is too big, so 86 is just going to be a grounder to second. 1 out. That'll bring up Lynn. This will probably be Nipper's last inning if he can get through it. Lynn hit that 2-run homer and singled in this game. He's 2 for 3. And 5 is patient. Patient 96, though. That's too much. So Nipper's getting a little bit lucky here with these patients. But there's a fly to right for the second out. 2 out. And that'll bring up Sheets. 2 out, nobody on. Here in the bottom of the 7th. Nipper against Sheets. Sheets is 0 for 3 in the game. And a 4 is tough. Tough right-handed. And a 5 is a strikeout. His 3rd strikeout. And Nipper has a nice 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. Like I say, still more than likely his last. So he goes 7. And the Red Sox lead at 4-3 going to the top of the 8th inning. Buckner due to lead it off, and he'll lead it off against Ase. Ase's short. He could pitch 2 innings, though, so he's going to stay in for the Orioles. So we got Ase against Buckner. Buckner is 0 for 3. And a 6 is tough right-handed on Buckner, and a 20 is a base hit. That's a base hit for Buckner. And on a 0 a base hit, that is a bloop into right field for Buckner. Didn't hit it well, but he's on with a tough 20. And that'll bring up Mike Easler. Runner on first, nobody out for Easler. And there's a 5, tough right-handed, and a 48 is too big. 48 is just a pop-up to first, 1 out. Ase, remember, no wild pitch, no supplemental strikeouts, so we don't have to worry about that. And that will bring up Gedman with 1 out and a runner on first. And that's a 7. That's tough right-handed. 49 is too big. 49 is a grounder back to the pitcher. So now we have a G1 with a runner on first. So we got to roll again for the double play. And we have Gedman's a 7 and Ase's a 9. So we're going to use the 7. And a 5 is a double play. So Gedman left-handed. So that's going to be a 1-6-3 double play. And that ends the inning. Ase did good job in relief. That's going to be 2 for him, and he's going to be done. Just doing some bookkeeping here. Give me a second. Ase goes 2 innings. And we'll worry about that the 9th inning later. We got to figure out who's coming in for the Red Sox. Who's going to be leading it off? Wayne Gross is leading it off. So he's left-handed, and then they got Dower and Dempsey from the right side. Dempsey may or may not hit. Dower probably will hit, so let's see who we want to bring in for the Red Sox. They had, obviously, Mark Clear. Let's see, who else were their big relievers that year? Crawford had a 3.76. some bookkeeping here. We got Bob Stanley, obviously. He had 10 saves. He would be maybe my ninth inning guy. Maybe we'll go Mark Clear. Seems like that would make sense. Where's Mark Clear? Mark Clear, 41 games, 3.72, 1-3. Who the lefties out of the pen? Hurst is a starter. Tim Lala was mostly a starter. Bobby Ojeda was mostly a starter. They don't have a lot of lefty relievers, the Red Sox. All right, we'll go with Clear with the idea of maybe going Clear to Stanley. The other guy would maybe be Crawford. Bring in Mark Clear. Clear is going to come in for the Red Sox, the righty. He is a 9-hold, 9 DP. And he's going to face Gross leading it off. Gross will bat since Clear is right-handed. So Gross will bat against Clear. Bottom 8. Red Sox lead at 4-3. And here we go. He's got 30 to 34 wild pitch, so if anyone gets on, and he does have 50 to 63 supplemental strikeout. We got a 3, and that's defense. Let's get the defense chart out. 3 is a 37 is error check on the pitcher. So Mark Clear is a 1 error, so this is a problem for the Red Sox. 135. And error 1 to 67 will be an error. And a 47 is an error on the pitcher, and that's a 3. And that is a 1-base error. So Gross reaches on the E1 to start off the bottom of the 8th inning. Not good for the Red Sox. And let's find Mark Clear. Hold on a second. Where was Clear? That's the one thing when I don't know where everybody is. I forgot where Clear was on the Red Sox. Oh, there he is. Okay. So we got Clear back. He makes an 1-base error to lead off this game. Lead off this inning. Gross is on first with nobody out for Dower. Dempsey is due up next. Dower against righties had a rough year in 85. So let's see. This is a good time to take a look at the Orioles bench. See who the Orioles have available that aren't playing. Who could hit righties? Dwyer's in the game. Disco Dan Ford, but he's right-handed. John Lowenstein's on the bench, but this was not a great year for Lowenstein either. Lynn and Murray are in the game. Joe Nolan hit 139. They do not have a lot on the bench, it doesn't look like. Sakata, Rayford, Larry Sheets. Wow, their bench is weak. John Shelby, even though he was a switch hitter, he hit 309, so he looks like he's an obvious choice. And Wiggins hit 269. So we got a couple of pinch hitters. Young also a switch hitter. So here are all your pinch hitters right here. Shelby, Wiggins, and Young. Maybe we pinch hit Wiggins for Dower, and he can play second base. He hit 269. So Wiggins is going to come in and pinch hit for Dower. This is why when we do late inning games, why I don't do a lot of late inning stuff, because then you got to start managing and you got to start making all these decisions, and it slows everything down. But Wiggins going to pinch hit for Dower with a runner on first and nobody out here. He's going to swing. And we get a 6. That's patient right-handed. And a 26 is a walk. And here we go. First and second, nobody out. We got an error and a walk. First and second, nobody out. Now we're going to pinch hit, I think, Shelby. John Shelby is going to pinch hit for Dempsey. And then we'll worry about who's going to come in to catch. But Shelby is pinch hitting. So we got first and second, nobody out. Lacey on deck. And Shelby swinging. First and second, nobody out here as the Orioles try and get back into this game against Mark Clear, who's getting into trouble. 5 is tough, though. Tough right-handed. And a 4 is a strikeout. Well, a big strikeout there. That was a big K for Clear. 1 out. And that'll bring up Lacey. 1 out now. Now Lacey's going to hit. Let me just see Lacey's numbers against righties. We only have that one other pinch hitter that looked reasonably good. Lacey was not terrible against righties, so he's definitely going to hit. So we got Lacey's up 2 for 4. Runners on first and second. 1 out. Clear trying to get out of trouble. 6 is patient, right-handed. And a 36 is a double. And 36 misses his wild pitch number, which was 30 to 34. So this is going to be a double. This is patient 36 on Lacey. And that is a double. So let's hold on. I got to get the chart for all the base running action. First of all, that's a double. It's a line shot in a gap in center field. And that is a 2 on a double, and that's just 2 bases for everybody. So that's 2 bases for everybody. So Gross is going to score to tie the game, and Wiggins is going to go to third. So we got second and third now, 1 out, and the Orioles have tied this game at 4. And that's going to bring up Dwyer. Jim Dwyer, the lefty. Remember, the Red Sox did not have a lot going on left-handed out of the bullpen. So Clear's going to pitch to him, and they're going to, well, we could walk him. Ripken's on deck, but with second and third, it will be righty-righty, and you get to force it home. You know what, we're going to bring the infield in. We're just going to bring the infield in and try and get Dwyer. He only hit 250 against righties. So let's bring the infield in. Game tied at 4. Second and third, 1 out. And let's try and get Dwyer with Clear. So here we go. Infield in, second and third. 6, patient, righty. 46, walked him. So he walks him anyway. 46 misses his wild pitch. And so we got the bases loaded. Bases are loaded. It's funny when that works out sometimes when you're thinking about walking someone and then the game walks them anyway. So 6 patient, 46 was a walk. So the bases are now loaded for Ripken. We're going to bring the infield in. We have to force it home. So we have the bases loaded. 1 out with Ripken up against Clear. And this is going to be interesting. We got bases loaded, 1 out. Game tied at 4, bottom of the 8th inning, and Clear trying to get Ripken with the infield in. 7 is patient. He just keeps getting these patients, but 92. 7 is patient, but 92 is too much. 92 is a fly to left. So now hold your horses. We got a fly to left. 92 misses all his wild pitch number, obviously. So it was off patient, but it's a fly to left. Pitcher result was wheelhouse of patient to begin the at-bat. The batter hits a deep fly ball. So it says deep fly on patient. The runner scores from third anyway. And if there's a runner on second and the result was an F9, the runner advances to third. So it wasn't. On a F8, second, third, lower rated runner. On an F7, result, runner on second may attempt to advance, but have the run rating reduced by 2. So on a wheelhouse or a patient, it's a deep fly ball, and that is enough to get the run in because that was off a patient result. So that is going to give the Orioles a 5-4 lead. Wiggins comes in from third, and that's 2 runs in on the inning. We're going to hold Lacey at second. So first and second, 2 out, but the Orioles score 2 to take the lead. Murray is up. Clear is not out of the woods yet. First and second, 2 out, 2 runs in. Clear trying to get Murray. 9 is tough. Tough right-handed, 72, and he gets Murray. He gets Murray to ground the short. So that ends the inning. But not before the Orioles take a 5-4 lead into the top of the 9th inning. So a couple of bookkeeping things. First, we need the Orioles. Who's the Orioles' backup catcher in 85? Just double check and find their backup catcher. Who is their backup catcher? Joe Nolan, right. So Joe Nolan will come in to catch. So Nolan's going to catch. Wiggins is playing second. He pinch hit, but he'll stay in the game to play second. So that's, and now we need, who's their closer in 85? Ase did a good job. Who saved their games in 85? I don't remember off the top of my head. So we had Stewart at, it looks like a little bullpen by committee. They had Tippy, they had Stewart, they had Snell. Looks like a little bullpen by committee. So who's coming up? Evans, Barrett, and Hoffman, mostly righty. So maybe we'll go to Sammy Stewart to try and save this game for the Orioles. Stewart will come in. And he is a righty, and he's got 7 DP and a 7 hold. Yeah, he saved 9 games, 56 games in, 55 in relief. And he's going to face Dwight Evans, who of course will hit leading off. And then we'll see after Evans. We're going to have to check the Red Sox bench for pinch hitters. Although Barrett is 3 for 3, so he's probably batting anyway. All right, so we got top 9. Orioles now have a 5-4 lead over the Red Sox. Sammy Stewart's going to come in to try and save this game. Dwight Evans is going to lead it off. He's 0 for 3. Stewart has a wild pitch, no supplemental strikeouts. And we got a 4 that's in play, right-handed, and a 36 is a base hit. Evans gets it started with a base hit on a 36. And that is a grounder up the middle in center field for a base hit. So the tying run is on first. So now Barrett's up and he's probably batting. He's 3 for 3 in the game. So against righties he hit, all right, 262. Let's just double check their bench for lefties though right now. They do have Tippy Martinez, the Orioles though. So question, they got Mike Greenwell. What kind of year did he have? He didn't have a lot of at-bats that year. Gutierrez, Hoffman, line. Rick Miller, he also didn't have a lot of at-bats. Did well while he played, but he didn't play a lot. I hate using those guys that don't have a lot of at-bats. They just weren't on the team that much. Alright, but we got Rick Miller. He had 4 ABs against lefties, but he had 41 ABs against righties at 293. So we could use him for Hoffman. I think I'm going to let Barrett hit, though, because he's having a good game, and it seems weird to take out a guy who is 3 for 3 with a home run. So we got a runner on first, 1 out for Barrett, who's going to be swinging against Stewart. Red Sox trying to come back in this game. 3-6 is a 9 is ballpark, and it's a ballpark 1, so we know that's going to be a wheelhouse. Look at this. 36-9 is a ballpark result, and a 1 is going to be a wheelhouse. So we're going to re-roll on Marty Barrett, wheelhouse against a right-hander. And a 3 is a home run. Oh, wow. Marty Barrett hits his second home run of the game. It's a 2-run shot. And the Red Sox take a 6-5 lead. Marty Barrett gets ballpark, and it was a 1. And, of course, we could double-check. We can look at, just for official sake, the Memorial Stadium. Wheelhouse is 1-60. So no doubt about that. And the Red Sox take a 6-5 lead as Barrett hits a 2-run homer. And now with the lead, Hoffman will just hit. No reason to take him out. Let's get Boston back so I can get Hoffman up. Stewart is rocked, but he'll stay in to face the righty Hoffman. And then we might get Tippy Martinez for Lyons and Boggs. But Stewart will stay in for this at-bat. 6 is patient. Righty, 71. That's an out. That is a grounder to second. 1 out. And now that's going to be it for Stewart. And we're going to get Martinez to come in. Tippy's going to come in. I think Tippy was in the same row. There's Tippy Martinez. Not have a great year that year, but he's left-handed, and he's going to face Lyons and Boggs. Let's see. Lyons will hit. They have the lead now, so we're just going to lead. No reason to pinch hit. Where is Lyons? Steve Lyons. He'll pinch hit. He'll bat, no pinch hitters. So 1 out, nobody on for Lyons against Tippy. Tippy has just wild pitch, no supplemental strikeouts. 7 is tough. lefty now. We got to switch over to first lefty in the game. 46 is a base hit. So tough lefty, but a 46 is a single for Lions. That is also up the middle for a base hit. So with one out, Boggs will bat. Runner on first, one out for Boggs. 6-4 is a 10 is in play lefty. 23 is a base hit. 23, that's a sharp liner into center field. 4 is one base plus choice. What is Lions? I think Lions will stop at second. Lions is a 10, so he cannot stop. He's got to go because so we got to do choice here because it's one base plus choice. Let me just remind myself again how we do choice. Roll 2T6 and compare total to the lead runner's run and the fielder's arm. If the total is equal to or less than both, the runner is safe. So we said that was to center field. Center field is Lynn. What is Lynn's arm? Fred Lynn, arm in center is a 6. So we're comparing Lions 10 run and the fielder's 6 arm. So let's roll. We're going to get another 2d6 number, and that's an 8. So if the total is equal to or less than both, it's not. If the total is greater than both, it's not. This 8 is greater than 1 and less than the other. If the total is greater than 1 and less than the other, roll the percentile die. So we could use the bottom. We could use the 86, and 86 is safe. So Lions is able to get to third. So it's first and third, one out. And now with Rice coming up, we're going to bring in Nate Snell. So that's it for Tippy. He does not do a good job. And now Snell is going to come in to face Rice with first and third, one out. And we're going to have to bring the infield in. He can't give up any more runs. So let's get Jim Rice up. We got first and third, one out. Red Sox have taken the lead on Barrett's second home run of the game. It's 6-5 Red Sox. They're now first and third, one out, infield in, and Snell is in. Wild pitch number is 30. We don't get that. So patient right-handed, 34, and that's a base hit. Jim Rice singles. That's a line drive into center field. Obviously the run from third scores. And a 5, there's just one base for Boggs. So it's first and second. It's now 7-5 Red Sox. Buckner will be up. First and second, one out. And Snell will stay in to face Buckner. Got a 6 is tough right-handed. 98, that's too big. That's a fly to right. Now on a tough on a fly to right. With a runner on second, what is that deal? I know with if the pitch was tough, to reduce the run rating 2. All other results from third base. Runner on second with a run rating of 7 or higher advances to third on F8 and F9. Other runners hold. If pitch was tough, reduce the runner's run rating 2 before attempting to advance. Runner on second. Who is on second base? Second base is Boggs. What is Boggs? Boggs is right here. He is a 6, but if we reduce him to a 4, he's going to hold at second. So we're going to have first and second, 2 out for Mike Easler. So Easler will bat first and second, 2 out. And a 2 is ballpark. And that is also going to be wheelhouse, right? Left-handed, 47. That's ballpark. Left-handed is 1/67. So that is going to be... Bring Easler back. Bring Mr. Easler back. Here's Easler. So that is a ballpark, 47. That's going to be a right-handed wheelhouse attempt for Easler. We're going to roll again. And we get a 20, and that is a home run. Mike Easler gets ballpark, he gets wheelhouse, and he hits it out against Snell. And this game is being blown open here by the Red Sox in the 9th inning. Easler homers. And that's a 3-run shot. And the Red Sox have scored 6 runs here. Snell would obviously be a fatigued pitcher, but with 2 out, nobody on, I'm just going to leave it alone and let him try and get Gedman. I mean, I could just take him out. Who do we have to pitch? Doesn't matter really. At this point, the game has been blown open. Who could they bring in? Who else do they have? Dennis Martinez was a starter. Flanagan was a starter. They don't have a lot left. Dixon. I could bring Dixon in. All right, we'll relieve Snell, who was bombed, and we'll bring in Dixon to try and get the last out. Dixon will try and get the last out of this inning, and he's going to do it against Gedman. So he's a righty. 5 is in play right-handed. 62 is too much, so he gets the last out, and that's a G5, it looks like. So let's just look at this inning. We had a single, a homer, a ground out, then we had a runner pitcher change, then we had single, 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 fly to right, and then the home run. So they score 6 times. They go into the 9th trailing 5-4, and they come out of it leading 10-5. Wow. A 2-run shot and a 3-run shot in this inning. And we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and we were going to bring in Stanley, but it's not even close now. Clear was not too good, though, so let's just bring in somebody to throw this last inning. How about Steve Crawford? We'll bring in Steve Crawford to pitch the last inning. He is a righty, so Crawford will come in for Clear. And looks like Fred Lynn is going to lead it off for the Orioles. They're now trailing 10-5 here in the bottom of the 9th. And we get an 8, and that's patient right-handed, and a 73 is too big. 73 is a grounded to short, 1 out. And that brings up Sheets. Sheets will bat. There's a 9, that's tough right-handed. 86, that's too big. That's just a ground at a second. It's amazing. One team, you couldn't get him out, and the other team can't get a hit. Gross will bat. He's lefty. Gross will bat with 2 out, nobody on. Crawford's gotten the first 2 here, trying to just wrap this up. 6 is tough right-handed, and 49 is too big, and that's a ground at a first. And that's the ball game. The Red Sox end up winning it 10-5 with 6 runs in the top of the 9th inning. 2 home runs, 1 from Barrett, 1 from Isla. Barrett actually hit 2 in the game. And the Red Sox win this. Actually, Mark Clear came in, gave up the lead, and actually gets the win, it looks like. And there's no save, and the loss has got to go to Stewart. He gave up that first home run that made it 6-5. Stewart would get the loss. All right, that's it. That's Payoff Pitch. Just trying to shake off the rust and get ready for the PC launch. All right, thanks for watching.